Hello, my name is LaWanda Hopefields, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the director for the Ronald E. McNair Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program, also known as McNair Scholars. During this 2019-20 academic year, we are excited to celebrate our anniversary of 25 years on the Wichita State campus. Although during this year, we have encountered many challenges, as most of America has, we are so proud to still celebrate our students, and we have great appreciation for the faculty members who have stayed the course to bring this year's scholarly activities to a close. I would like to acknowledge my boss and mentor, Ms. Delta Q. Colvin, for her support during these most recent challenging times, but also for her confidence in me to lead this dynamic group of students. Miss Ashley Cervantes and Miss Nisha Green are the capable hands behind the scene, and a mere thank you is not enough for all that they do. They are the backbone of our program, and I am forever grateful. As we celebrate 25 years of academic excellence and 15 students who are completing their scholarly research, I also want to thank you as our supporters and as our listeners. Thank you for being there for the students and for the program as we celebrate 25 years of academic excellence. Enjoy these dynamic presentations.
Hello, my name is Angela Portillo, and today I will be presenting my research project that I did with my co-investigator Millicent Setzkorn and my mentor Heidi VanRavenhorst-Bell. My research project was a pilot study vertical jump comparison between the Vertec, the DARI motion capture, and the MyJump 2 app. So first, I'm going to explain what vertical jump is and why it's important. Vertical jump is used to assess an athlete's sport performance capabilities. It can help identify any strengths and weaknesses that they may have, and then therefore this information is important because the coaches can then implement and make an effective training program that will optimize their overall performance. So there are different types of vertical jump. For this research project in specific, we looked at vertical reach and vertical jump height. So vertical reach is measuring from foot to floor, from floor to fingertips. So the participant is fully elongated. And for vertical jump height, the athlete or the participant it's focusing on lower body, so from floor to foot to get their overall vertical jump height. The main purpose of this study was to identify whether there was a significant difference in the vertical jump measures between the Vertec, the DARI motion capture, and the MyJump 2 app. In addition, we also looked at whether providing a familiarization trial prior to the baseline would give us different measures. And then lastly, we also looked at determining if vertical jump measures differed by sex. So we did have 3 vertical jump assessments that we looked at. We had the Vertec, the DARI motion capture, and the MyJump 2 app. So first, I'll explain what the Vertec is. The Vertec is the traditional assessment tool that's typically used to measure vertical jump reach. Some advantages of the Vertec are that it is very portable, and so it can be used in any setting by anybody. It is also quick and time efficient, so a test can be done in under 5 minutes. Some disadvantages of the Vertec are that it does lack additional output, such as force and power, that some of the others may provide. For the DARI motion capture, the DARI motion capture is a markerless motion system that can provide an overall body assessment. Some advantages of the DARI are that it provides lots of output measures, and those measures can then help optimize the athlete's performance and training. The disadvantages of the DARI are that it is very expensive compared to the other 2. In fact, it's the most expensive out of the 3. And the DARI does focus on vertical reach. Lastly, we had the MyJump 2 app, which is a newer app that focuses on vertical height, so it's the only one that's focusing on vertical height. And some advantages of the DARI are that it is also, or I'm sorry, the MyJump2 app, are that it is also very portable, and so it can be used in any setting. And some disadvantages of the MyJump2 app are that reviews have shown it to be difficult when first initiating. So next, for our methods, we did have a total of 38 participants for this study. We had 19 males and 19 females, and we did have an average age group of 22 years old, so they were all fairly young. For the inclusion and exclusion criteria, we did have all of our participants fill out a PARQ Plus, or a physical activity readiness questionnaire, and then we also had them fill out a general physical activity questionnaire, and these help to exclude any disorders that would negatively affect their physical performance. So prior to starting the assessment, we also did have all of our participants partake in a warm-up, which was 10 high knees, 10 squats, and 1 minute of running in place. All of our assessments were randomized in order to control for task fatigue, and then when it was time for the actual assessments to begin, that's when we had all of our participants partake in the familiarization prior to the baseline, and in between those two, they did have 30 seconds of rest, and then in between each actual separate assessments, they had 5 minutes of rest. So you can see here in the pictures that on the very left, we have our Vertec. So as I was talking about the elongation, you can see that the measurement is going all the way from the floor to the tip of the fingertips. In the middle, we have the DARI motion capture, which is the markerless motion system. And then lastly, we have the MyJump2 app, which, as I was saying, is the only one that was focusing on floor to foot measures. So the findings of this study showed, as you can see from this table, that the Vertec and the DARI did implement similar measures to each other, whereas the MyJump2 app was the outlier of the three, and it did not show similar measures to each other. On the left, we had the familiarization, the baseline, so the gray being the familiarization, and as you can see, when we provided that familiarization, it did help to improve their performance, so their baseline was overall better. And then on the right, you can see that males are in the gray and females are in the yellow, and males did outperform females across all measures. So our overall findings show that the DARI and the Vertec did deliver similar measures to each other, as we saw by that graph. The only one that was different, again, was the MyJump2 app, which it may be due to the fact that it was the only one that was focusing on the ground to foot measures instead of the vertical reach like the other two were. So our findings also showed that when we provided the familiarization prior to the baseline, the athlete's performance was overall improved. So this is important because then coaches and strength conditioning professionals can look into implementing this into their training so that their athletes are getting the maximal performance. And then lastly, again, we did look at the sex differences. So we did see that males did outperform females across all of the measures. So this is important because coaches can then look at implementing a more sex-specific approach in their training and testing. So then overall, the study showed that not all of the assessment modalities were equally to each other. So this is important because then coaches and strength conditioning professionals can choose whether they need to focus on elongation and focus more on vertical jump height, whereas the other one was vertical reach. So for example, if you have a basketball player, they would probably be focusing more on the vertical jump reach, whereas a track athlete would be focusing, possibly depending on their position, more on the lower body, the vertical jump height, to be able to explode out of the starting blocks. And these are my references. Thank you for your time. Any questions are welcomed. So this is important because, as stated earlier, if you have, depending on the athlete that you have, if, for example, you had the basketball player that needed to maximize their vertical jump reach, then you can be able to determine which exact testing you would need. Whereas, again, if you had, that would follow the same for a volleyball player, whereas if you had the track athlete that would need to be able to have that lower body explosive power to optimize their performance and then explode out of the starting blocks, then that's when you would determine overall which assessment you would use specific to your athlete. For example, so we did see that males did outperform the females, so instead of, we've seen a lot where coaches just kind of group everybody together and train or test everybody the same exact way. So in this way, coaches could then look at their separating their athletes in by sex, therefore being able to determine their true overall max vertical jump height measures. If it's determined by like grouping all of the output measures together, then yes, because then you would always just be seeing the males always getting the highest values, and instead of actually seeing like the true averages of maybe what females would get then versus the males. So in our study, we did have to take arm and leg measurements for the MyJump2 app. So I'm not sure if that really made a difference in the measures or not, but I know that they were definitely implemented in the research itself. This concludes my research presentation of vertical jump comparison between Vertec, DARI motion capture, and MyJump2. My name is Angela, and thank you for your time.